It was last second, so I know we had Coach Guard was dealing with foul, and it was one of those where you can either steal it or foul. So I stole the ball. And then Max's defense, he did really well on battles tonight. I was really impressed with him. Battles like 6'6", 6'7", has the height advantage, but Max is a dog, and that's what I love about him. I've always said that he had the Brad Davidson in him, and you saw that tonight.
Todd in the back.
Stephen, your team's depth obviously got pushed a little bit with Tyler going out. How did you feel like you guys responded to that? Some guys got put in roles that, for longer periods of time than maybe they would have otherwise. How did that go from your perspective?
I thought it went really well for us. Coach always says every game he says or he tells everyone to be ready, not just the 5 or 7 guys that play every game. He tells everyone to stay ready and be ready. And I thought Marcus in particular came in, did a great job. Had some good defensive possessions on Garcia for a few stretches, even hit a 3, I think, in there. So I think Marcus and then all of us other guys too, we stepped up and played a big role in that part of the game.
Jeff.
Chucky, when you guys played Western Michigan, you were coming off a long layoff, and you came out really sharp in that game. Tonight, the offensive execution probably wasn't what you guys expect early. Can you explain that? And then also, how much did number 3 give you a boost late in the half when he came in off the bench?
Yeah, for sure. Early in the game, we probably should have seen that they weren't very good defensively on the ball screen, so we probably should have used a lot more ball screens. But they're really physical in post, and we were forcing up a lot of tough shots, and I think that's what's kind of get to a slow start. But you're talking about Connor, number 3. He definitely gave us a good boost. I love playing with him. He's one of those guys where you can knock it down and you just turn around and it's going in. So every time I get the chance to, I'll find him, and I know he's going to knock it down.
Right up front here.
Chucky, obviously, Tyler's such a big leader on this team, and him going down and being unavailable for the second half forces you guys to make a few changes. How do you think you guys adjusted to losing such a key player for such a long stretch?
Yeah, for sure. You definitely saw it in the second half when we were kind of getting out rebounded. It made our four men kind of be physical. Marcus over, I think he had a difficult time boxing out, but he did tremendous for the most part. Just a couple box outs, that he missed. But missing Tyler, that's one of our key guys, one of our best players. And when he goes down, we know somebody else has to step up, and that's why we have 16 players. And I believe, for the most part, we did a good job.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Chucky, you guys led by 15 in the second half.
Jim in the back.
Here, I know it's easier said than done to close out games because there's another team that's trying hard too, but do you guys need to get better at that, closing out and not making these games so tight?
Yeah, for sure. That's something that we apologize to the fans about, giving you guys heart attacks. But, we're definitely going to try and get better and just try to finish things out and not make it such a nail-biting game.
Todd in the back.
Connor Gregg was in here yesterday telling us to buckle up for Big Ten play. Was this kind of the embodiment of that, what it's going to be like in Big Ten? You're going to come down to a lot of last possessions and a lot of second halves. They're going to be 1-2 possession games.
I mean, for me, I'm kind of expecting a battle every night. It's the Big Ten for a reason, and we've seen it already. With Iowa being such a close game, and a lot of things I learned from that. Just right off the bat. It's going to be. I'm expecting games like that, but like Chucky was saying too, we'd like to learn a little bit on how to close games out a lot better.
I think in this league, as I watch other games, nothing should surprise us. But for our guys to be able to find a way when you're not quite maybe at your best, and some of that's credit to Minnesota. I don't want to, I want to make sure I credit them. And then Tyler going down, I think put some guys in position where they had to play more minutes than anticipated or that they had. So I think in the long run, hopefully this helps us in terms of maybe strengthening and developing our bench more, specifically Gilmore and Ilver. But as I told them in the locker room, good teams find a way. When you're not playing and clicking on all cylinders and sputtering at times, good teams dig down and find a way to get it done. I thought Klesmet was really good once he defensively, once he kind of learned what Jamison Battle was about and how he played, and really locked in and did an exceptional job with him. And so it's like I said, this league is not. There's not going to be any easy ones, and I think we've seen that already with other games in the league for the most part. And just take care of business and move on to next.
Jeff?
Greg, that said, I think you guys are up by 15, playing pretty comfortably in the second half, and I know you've kind of half joked that this team makes it harder than it needs to be, but what do they need to do when they get to that point to just continue to be efficient and maintain that lead?
Well, it's the defensive end where we two free throw blockouts that got them going. We were too passive on Jamison Battle, and he got a 3, and then he gets comfortable and gets another one. So it's just those little things that start to snowball, and whether it's a simple thing as a free throw blockout or even blocking out within the possession. In a non-free throw situation, just little plays like that can give a team momentum and give them some confidence. And I felt at that point when that happened that this wasn't trending where it needed to trend. And so we've got to be better at that. And I'll look through the film and see the exact things and break those down. But it's like I said, I think it's good learning when you can get through a game when you have those type of things happen and still come out on the left-hand side, and they're going to be teaching points that these guys will remember, and we got to continue to get better in those areas.
Todd?
Greg, is there anything you can update with Tyler for his future, and how did you have to adjust, I guess, quickly in that spot to give those guys that heads up that you're going to be needed a lot more than maybe we thought?
Yeah, I didn't know what exactly happened when it first happened. I was told he stepped on the ball off a rebound. And then he told me later he stepped on somebody's foot. And then I think it was, his intention was that he was going to try to go again in the second half, use halftime to get it loose. But he tried to do some stuff backstage, and it just wasn't going to happen. So I don't know timeline. I think those each individual, heals from those, differently. So we got 3 days here. We'll see where he's at. He'll work with Brent, our trainer. He's probably doing that already tonight, and see where it's at. He just didn't feel like he could explode off of it and get into a full stride. So not going to put him in a position where he's gonna hurt himself anymore. So it's other guys have to step up, which they did.
Chris?
Yeah, you had mentioned Marcus and Carter getting some extra minutes. How do you feel that they fared, especially the short notice that they had that they were going to be playing some more minutes tonight?
Well, Gilmore, the whole thing is not only they'll get minutes, but it just puts everything out of rotation in terms of our rotation. Steve has to play more for longer stretches. Gilmore obviously plays more. It just kind of what you've been accustomed to and how you rotated through practice and previous games. I think there was good things. Gilmore always scraps. There's you could never question effort with him. I think with Marcus, it's a good experience for him of why he maybe hasn't gotten more minutes because of some things that maybe got exposed tonight. So he understands it, he knows it, he embraces it, and he's eager to use this to get even better.
Jeff in the back.
You mentioned over, it looked like there was one possession you guys were trying to post up Steven and Marcus drove and ended up getting a kick out 3. But in the first half, did he give you some decent minutes defensively on Garcia?
Yeah, I thought, he was, he's getting better. I think when he first got here last year, I don't know if defense was in his vocabulary, and he understands now. He's not where he needs to be anywhere near, but now he understands that he has to be better and embraces it and realizes, you get a taste of this at this level. It's not for the faint of heart. So I think he's definitely gotten better, but it just shows how far he's had to come to get to this point.
Any more questions for Coach? Jeff?
Yeah, I think Chucky said that you were calling for a foul on that last possession. You guys were up 3. His mentality, he said, was, I'm going for the steal because if I get a foul call, do you like him to see? Do you like to see him take that initiative in that?
Yeah, I think, when there's a situation where it's a 1-on-1 up 3, we actually, ironically, we practiced it yesterday in practice at a late game situation, fouling up 3, because it's each situation's different. I'd like to prefer Steve just make the free throw, and we don't have to worry about the last possession. But there's situations where you would definitely do it. I just felt if they were coming like that, we had the ball cornered a little bit. Let's go ahead and take one, but he was able, obviously, to knock the ball free.
I know you don't view steals as like the end-all, be-all for defense, but he's got a knack for taking the
does.
ball away. He's done that so many times.
Yeah.
What is it that allows him to do that?
Well, he's got a great base. He's hard to move when you get him, when you're coming at him. He takes physical contact and doesn't really get knocked. So he's able to read people and kind of stop their initial direction. And then as they go to counter, he's really good at reading. And then the ball gets exposed. He's able to just get his hand on it enough to disrupt the dribble, and then he bulldogs his way towards the ball. So it starts with his base. He's really hard. Lower body strength is really good with him, and positioning is good. So that's the part of it. He doesn't get knocked off and driven north-south. He holds his ground.
Todd?
Greg, you said Marcus got exposed a couple times tonight. What were the details you think he can do better to not let that happen when he's going to watch the film of it?
Well, part of it's in the room about 2 doors down in the weight room. That'll come over time, and he's taken steps. He's much stronger than where he was, and then also it's just a mentality of get your nose dirty, and he's done more of it, much more than he was doing a year ago. And the nice thing, the encouraging thing about Marcus is he knows exactly. When he came out after a couple of those blockouts, he knew exactly what he needed to do better, and it'll start with him getting bigger and stronger. But the mindset also needs to continue to become a little more gristled. I won't spell gristled because I don't know how to spell it, but that's your job. You guys got a spell check. Anything else?
Anything else for Coach?
All right.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.